Hey, I'll tell you what. I was watching a documentary about a week and a half ago, and it was talking about the demise of disco. How they just brought all the records in, just put them all in a dumpster, put fireworks in there, basically blew them up. Just blew them up. All because they claimed they hated disco music. But what did they really hate? I tell you, part of it was jealousy. Jealousy of a genre of music that was selling more than a genre of music that they loved and they didn't want to embrace. So basically, it was outselling rock. It was outselling rock. It was outselling metal. Because you didn't see any of the R&B lovers. You didn't see any of the jazz lovers. I don't know. We didn't see any of the country lovers because, country was always a small niche in the music business until, of late, how it kind of blew up. Once they started sounding more like rock groups. But nevertheless, that's what they did. So I was going to keep it like that, jealousy. But we know it's much more to it, much more, because the documentary said so. I was watching it. But that is not what I really want to base this video on so much. It's the fact that me coming up during that era and, spinning music, enjoying music with everybody else. Disco was a big part of that era when I was, spinning music. But at the same time, it was a undercurrent of music that was playing constantly along with disco, but never was considered disco. But it can blend and mix right in because a lot of disco was basically, R&B, disco music, soul music. It was intertwined. Funk, it was all intertwined. That it happened to be some badass shit that everybody can dance to. And another thing I always used to say, a lot of the people that hated disco, it's because they couldn't dance. So if you can't do nothing or participate, then you hate it. And I'm just being polite. But getting back to that undercurrent of music that anybody that know me know my main love is funk bands, groups, male or female. Love that stuff. I love it because I like how you saw a team of people working for that common cause, and that was to make good sound. Yes. You don't see that now. Everybody wants to be a solo act. And I think that got a lot to do with the record companies. How they started like, well, since you wrote this song, you get more than this. And, you know, it's kind of hard to be in a band when you see one of the members, because he might have wrote 4 or 5 songs on an album. Next thing you know, he pulling up in a Cadillac and you still driving your, 1979 Ford Pinto. So I think that was partly the demise. Because you got to understand, a lot of those groups, when they were struggling together and didn't have, as my parents used to say, 2 nickels to run together, they were tight. Money always divides up everything. So I think record companies saw that. And once they figured they made so much money off the group, when they started to see maybe album sales as a group start to slip, then he started like, well, this guy, he, we can make some more money just off him doing a solo gig. So let's kind of work and kind of start pitching him away. How do you do that? By saying, well, you wrote these songs, so you need to get paid more money. Because I find it hard to believe you got people that grew up together, played together, a lot of them since junior high school. Been doing it in the mama's garage, Then all of a sudden, it's like, well, I wrote 3 songs on the album, so I should make more. Somebody had to tell them that. At least back then. But I'm going off on a rant about something because I think that was partly the demise of great funk bands. One that's on top of my mind is Commodores, Lionel Richie. Yeah, he was writing songs, but they were together in college. Maybe before college, maybe high school. Down there, Tuskegee, doing their thing. And, next thing you know, Lionel Richie, packing his bags. I saw Chaka Khan tell a story where she said she was talking to Lionel Richie and kind of encouraged him to leave. Now, anybody that know me, I love me some Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan. But when I heard her tell that story, I kind of was a little upset. Because I hope that wasn't the point that, she was that extra push for Lionel to say, I'm out of here. Well, after he left, the Commodores did, come out with some stuff that was pretty good. But this is why I think a lot of bands make a mistake at, is when you make the group one common voice that all your fans just hear, and then all of a sudden it's not there no more. I think that hurts the band. Even though the Commodores did have changes, but their biggest hits were lead by Lionel Richie. So you just constantly heard Lionel Richie because that was their biggest hits. Even though he had some bad stuff with other leads, but that's if you bought the album and listened to the album. You heard it. But the repetition was always on the radio or on TV. And it was always Lionel Richie. But this video ain't about the Commodores, but I just use them as a reference for a lot of bands, you know. And when they're not making as much money being in the band, then he, got to leave and get a regular job, or they'll try to get a solo deal somewhere themselves. Nevertheless, the band is gone as we know it, as we grew to love it. But that's a different story, a different tale. Now, getting back to the disco, some groups dabbled in it, and I'm staying with the funk and R&B bands here. Dabbled in it, was able to pull out of it. Some of them had enough fan base that even though disco sucked the whole thing, fans still stayed true to them, even when he kept putting out music. So, I was playing music and thinking about that, and I started just flipping through stuff. And I started looking at music that I was playing between 75, 80. That still, to this day, you drop the needle on it, and it's just some badass music. You don't think of disco when you play it. Like you might think of a Donna Summer song, Love to Love You Baby. Or, the Bee Gees, Stand Alive, Night Fever, stuff like that. You just hear badass R&B funk music. But the music was made in that 5-year span, 75 to 80. So I just started pulling stuff. It's not no order, dates or anything. It's just stuff that's stacked, and I just pulled it. Pleasure was a group. Pleasure was a group that was kind of like, man, they were like everything. They were like R&B, funk. They can get soulful sometime. Dance. They were just a group that was just all over with perfect tunes, just great musicianship, everything. They had it. The cut on here was called Glide. And man, this album cooked. Future Now. 1979, Fantasy Records. Fantastic album. So I pulled another one, and they were also heavily sampled by hip hop. And that's what I was talking about. Hip hop, disco never really died because hip hop just took all that music that supposed to have got blown up, recycled it, and made hits that you, who blew up, is still listening. So if you loving hip hop, you're listening to the disco still. So you didn't do anything. You didn't kill disco. You actually prolonged it. Here's another Pleasure album. Heavily sampled. Joyous was the cut on here. And this was on Fantasy. This was 1977. 1977. Like a lot of stuff had been sampled, recycled. Hip hop is just using it. And he used a lot of disco music as well, like I said. Pockets. This is another heavily sampled group. Come Go With Us. Yeah, Pockets. This on Columbia. What year was this? I want to say 1977. Come Go With Me. Heavily sampled. Pockets. Another great funk R&B group. Here's another one of the albums. This is 78. Great album. Take It On Up. Yeah, 78. And this album was produced by Vernon White from Earth, Wind & Fire. Verdine White. Yeah, was this produced by him too as well? No. George Bohan. No, George Bohannon appeared on here. Produced this. Oh, yes, he did. Yeah. Vernine White produced both of these pocket LPs. But one of these sounds so damn good. And if you don't know who Vernine White is, he's part of Earth, Wind, and Fire. Bass player. Maurice White, rest in peace, brother. Yes. Of course. You know, I was going to have to do this. Funkadelics, Parliament, in the mix of it all. So I pulled Funkadelics, One Nation Under a Groove, 1978, Warner Brothers. Parliament, Funk Intelligence, the Placebo versus the Placebo Syndrome. This is on Casablanca, 1977. Of course, Flashlight, Sonos, the Water, Funk, Bot Gun. By the way, when I played this actually still has the Sonos poster in it. I forgot that poster was still in here. It is, which is a very sought out poster, I was told. Go figure. Another group, Brick, 1976, Bang Records. Daz was the big cut on here. Good High. Good High. Here's another Brick. Yeah. Ain't gonna hurt nobody. Get on down. Yeah. Induce it. Yeah. 1977. Yeah. Brick. Another group, and like I said, they had the tracks that can put you on the dance floor in that era as well. But, the production took you to the dance floor and also to the R&B. They stayed true to what they wanted to be, even though they was still dancing in between who they are as a funk R&B band and throwing some good dance tunes for the disco floor. Another group that was doing it, Mass Production. Welcome to Our World. Yeah, cut on here the opening track was bad. Welcome to Our World of Merry Music. Yeah, this was a nice album right here. Then he had a cut on here called Wine Flow Disco. But then he could take it back to the funk and R&B. But he gave you that flavor to go on the dance floor. I picked 3 Mass Productions because this is one of my favorite Mass Production albums because of a song on here that is called Just Want to Make a Dream Come True. Mass in the Mirror. This is a Mass in F minor. I'm sorry. I was reading something. I was thinking about something else. But 3 Mile High right here. This was 1978. Great album. Yeah. Then, of course, I pulled this because everybody knows this Mass Production album. Of course, this is the one that got Firecracker on it, 1979. Call a Firecracker. Boom, boom. Yes. This is a great album. And this is when 79, they threw out a nice cut to dance to, but they went a lot more R&B here. I guess it was winding down, maybe, but great album on Cotillion Records. And I tell you what, this group Mass Production, all the albums, they stayed with the label All the albums. You'd be surprised how sometimes you might see a group, they do 2 or 3 albums, next thing you know, they come out on another label. To the last album was Continue Records. I actually did a video on Mass Production. If you go through my video catalog, scroll through it, look for Mass Production. And did a nice video on them. Also a group that was in the fold was LTD. This is 1978. A&M Records. They had that cut, Holding On. But this is more of an R&B, just love album. I mean, we both deserve each other's love. What was that other one on here? Concentrate on You. Man, this was a great album. Then, of course, You Fooled Me. You know you fooled me. Got good things on my mind. Got me fit. Man, that was the shit. Yes. Jam. I mean, this whole album was just fire. LTD, like I said, 1978. Here's another LTD. Yes. And this one had Every Time I Turn Around. Every time I turn around, back in love again. And this was, let me see. They got the 77 A&M Records. Yes, it's in small print down there. But yes, Something to Love. Yeah, and this was called Togetherness. Now, you know I was talking about the Commodores. So I pulled this Commodore Live because, of course, we all know about Brick House. Yeah, but they was also having cuts like Slippery When It's Wet. You know, Fancy Dancer. But a cut on here, Too Hot to Trot. Okay? Now, Too Hot to Trot was a cut that I don't want to say they made it for that soundtrack, but I don't know. I could be wrong, but it appeared on the Thank God It's Friday, which was a disco music movie after Saturday Night Fever. I think it came out like 78. Saturday Night Fever came out, 77? So I think the year after that, when Saturday Night Fever started to die down, Thank God It's Friday with Donna Summer, appeared, and that's where you heard Donna Summer's great album, and it was just a great. Actually, I liked it that better than Saturday Night Fever. I really did, because it was fun. You didn't have to deal with all the bullshit, the cussing, the racism that was going on. Yes. Yeah, it was a lot of bullshit talking in Saturday Night Fever. Yeah, come on now. Yeah, but Thank God It's Friday was real cool, fun, and, it was just about partying, having a good time. But, yeah, Too Hot to Trot. It was the Brick House. I mean, the Commodores, they were just funky as hell in the earlier stuff. Funky as hell in the, Just Be Close to You's on here. But, yeah. The earlier stuff. You go back and get some of the earlier stuff, like early 70s, like 75, 74, the earlier stuff, man, crazy. Another group, Sky. You tell he was dressed that they was kind of feeling that, but they were more like towards the end a little bit. Well, he came around about what? Oh, this is 80. On South Soul Solo Records, but they because Call Me, everybody knows, Celebrate, that was like 82, maybe, when disco was really kind of on its way out. But here they had High Anybody that knows Sky know High. Sky Zoo, what you gonna do? Gonna play. Gonna play my Sky Zoo. I say, what you gonna do? Yeah. Yeah. And you hear that. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. But Sky, yeah. And when he did to celebrate, yeah, they wasn't wearing this. They was like suits, dresses, looking like an R&B group. And but they had a cut called uh, "When You Touch Me." Now the ladies of Sky, which are all sisters, which are all sister. Let me see, Dolores, Denise, and Bonnie, all sisters, and they got a group called Ladies of Sky, and they are performing a lot of these songs today. The Ladies of Sky, and they still sound good. It might look different because we all change as we get older, but they still sound good. Yes. High Energy. Here was another group. Yeah, this was on Gordy. This is 1978. Yeah. Stepping Out. High Energy. Yeah. Love Fever. High. You Captured My Heart. Don't Want to Tell You. Everything I See, You Go Wild. I mean, just some great songs that these girls could sing. They had the harmony. They had the voices. You know, they were great. High Energy. But they're known for the cut. Well, he had that song, I Should Be Dancing, that was all on the dance floor, disco floor. But they known more for the cut on this album. You Can't Turn Me Off in the middle of Turning Me On. Woo, this also on Gordy. This is 1977. Yes, High Energy. If you don't know, now you know. Now, of course, this next girl group, yeah, I had to pull some ladies out, you know, with the writing and playing of Bernard Edwards, rest in peace, and Nile Rodgers. Sister Slade, We Are Family. This album, Continue Records, 1979. Yeah, he's the greatest dancer. Somebody Loves Me. Lost in Music. And of course, the anthem, We Are Family. I got all my sisters and me. And it's amazing how sometimes they get caught up in the disco era. But great album. That song, We Are Family, definitely kept them afloat. That it became an anthem. That you was also hearing it played at sporting arenas and everything. Yes, 1979. Another funk band that's been around since the 60s. Like disco, they died and came back. Unlike disco, like I'm saying. Well, disco did die and come back. It just came back in a different form. So did this group. And I'm talking about the Bar-Kays. The majority of these cats, you know, not on this album, but died in a plane crash with the late, great Otis Redding. The Bar-Kays, who back then that group was playing, you know, blowing horns, the rhythm section for Ozzie Hayes on his album, a couple albums, but Black Moses, and, you know, also playing, you know, behind Otis Redding sometime. But the Bar-Kays right here, this is 1977. And Let's Have Some Fun was one of the big ones on here. Flying High on Your Love. This was a great R&B funk album, 1977. Also, Stand with the Bar-Kays. Enjoy the Bar-Kays, 1979. Head Move Your Boogie Body. Another great R&B funk album. And see, notice what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the groups. You know, see what I'm saying? Yeah. Moving right along. This next group, Ohio Finest, Heat Wave, Too Hot to Handle, Boogie Nights, Too Hot to Handle. This came out in 77, CBS Records, Epic Records, yes. And everybody, come on, knows Rod Temperton. You know, man, he's been behind so much stuff, it's crazy. But he was in this band. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Rod Temperton was in this band. He was the keyboardist. Yeah. And Ain't No Half-Stepping, Boogie Nights. But of course, we all know about that Always and Forever. Stand with Heat Wave. Groove Line. Oop, oop. Yeah, we riding on the Groove Line tonight. Central Heating. 1978 on Epic. Yes. And of course, there's my man, Rod Temperton in there. And by the way, Johnny Wilder Jr., rest in peace. Tragic accident. Car wreck left him paralyzed from the neck down. But he did come back to do a couple more records with him. But yeah, he passed away, and rest in peace. Rest in peace. Now, this next group, I might say something that might offend a lot of people, but it's what we all got, opinions. The Sylvers. The Sylvers, I think, should have been bigger than the Jacksons at this time. And I ain't talking about Michael Jackson, how he came to be. I said the Jacksons. Because he definitely had better vocals. These vocals were definitely better. I don't know, maybe because he had the harmony also of the sisters. Which the Jackson had sisters. They could have kind of mixed them in if they wanted to, but they didn't. Well, that's because of the daddy. But nevertheless, the sisters were here. And the head was Boogie Fever. But what kept this album kicking was the Roulette Wheel of Love. Woo! Wee! Man! If you ain't heard that, you better give it a listen. I mean, very, very beautiful looking family. And just, man, look at those froze. Look at those froze. These froze look better than the Jacksons. Yeah. Don't get mad at me, y'all. I am a big Jackson fan. I got all the albums as well. And I didn't pull none. You know, I didn't pull, I could have pulled, what's the name of that? Destiny. Shake your body onto the ground, just dance. I didn't do that. I didn't pull no Jacksons. Huh. Well, I give her an honorable mention. Destiny, Shake Your Body Onto the Ground. What's the name of the other album? They had Enjoy Yourself. Enjoy yourself, enjoy yourself, enjoy yourself for me. Dun, dun, enjoy yourself, enjoy yourself, enjoy yourself. Didn't pull that one either. But there's the honorable mention of the Jacksons. But better vocals, Now, I'm only saying it as a group. So don't be coming at me because you saying, what was his name? What was the lead singer name? Little Foster. Was it Little Leon? Was it Little Leon Foster? Yeah. Huh. You know what? I never really compared their vocals, you know, his age versus Michael's at his age. Huh. Might be something I might have to do. Who knows? All right. Moving on. That was the Silvers. Oh, the album's called Showcase. And this was 76. Woo-wee. 76. Capitol Records. Now, this next duo, woo, I remember when he first dropped, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But nevertheless, A Taste of Honey, 1978, Capitol Records, Boogie, Oogie, Oogie. Kind of dubbed them as kind of being stuck in that whole disco era. Let's blow up some records. But this album was more than Boogie, Oogie, Oogie. And that brings up another story. Do you know people that will buy a whole album just to listen to one song on the album? I had a couple of nuthead friends like that. I could be playing another song on the album that's not the hit, and they'd be like, "What is that? Is that new?" Now, keep in mind, they're my friend, so I know they got the album too at their house. So what are you talking about? You got this album? Oh, well, I ought to just play such and such. Really? Yeah, same with this. A lot of people, once they played Boogie Oogie Oogie, they were done. But this had so many great cuts on it. Like Distant, another favorite of mine on here was World Spin. If We Love, yeah. There's a lot of good cuts on here. Actually, the whole album blends together very well. Very well. So, drop the needle. A to B. Trust me. Stand with A Taste of Honey. Twice as sweet. Yes, this came out in 1980. So, okay, we're hitting the 80 here. And Rescue Me was the song he pushed when it got released out. Nice. Rescue Me. Yeah. Had that Taste of Honey, guitar, bass driven. But the song that really took this album to the next level was Sukiyaki. You took your love away from me. Yes. But great album as well. These lovely ladies don't get enough credit. They were putting out good albums, but they were just trying to tie them just to, they disco, blow them up, so to speak. Now, this next group, one of my favorite funk bands, especially when they were huge, till they shriveled down to like 3, was Cameo. Cameo. Chocolate City, Casablanca. Yes. Cameo. This is 1979. Now, funny thing about this album. They had a song that was on the same soundtrack when I talked about the Commodores. Thank God it's Friday. And that was Find My Way. Find My Way was on the soundtrack of Thank God It's Friday. And it definitely had that disco feel. You know, find my way. You know, it just had that, you could glide to it on the dance floor kind of thing. But it was two other songs on here that, even though they pushed Find My Way off this album onto that soundtrack, the reason this album stayed so strong in the R&B funk world because of two other songs. And it was I Just Want to Be and Sparkle. I Just Want to Be had that heavy bass and drum. I just want to be what you want me to be. Twain, why me up, see? Oh my God. Then you had the vocals. Rest in Peace, Wayne Cooper. Oh my God. Wayne Cooper. Woo. If you ever heard Why Have I Lost You, Wayne Cooper on that, oh my God. Wayne Cooper, he was a great asset to Cameo because when he had parts that needed that high pitch, Wayne Cooper was your man. I just want to be what you, oh man. And with the breakdown on that, you hear Wayne Cooper, he warming up, all right, and then the horns, man, the horns coming, and you just hear Wayne Cooper's voice just selling over the horns. You gotta hear it. You gotta hear it. You know, I can't do it justice. I'm not a singer, but God, Wayne Cooper, I Just Want to Be. Sparkle, man. And I always love that cover. Fantastic artwork. Yeah. Yes. Secret Omen. Yes. 1979. Yes. Stand with Cameo. Cameosis, baby. Cameosis. Yes, Wayne Cooper is still with us on Cameosis. Like I said, rest in peace. 1980. I think it's the second album in 80 that made it. Okay. Yes, Cameosis. Shake Your Pants. We going out tonight. And remember the cut I said? Why Have I Lost You? Wayne Cooper. Whew. Why have I lost you? I ain't even gonna try it. Man. Yes. And see, it goes back. See, don't talk about, the big man. The big man. Yes. Now, this next group, and I did pull two of these records. People's Choice, Boogie Down USA. This was a well put together album. But they had that dance cut. Do it any way you want. Come on, do it. Do it any way you want. Y'all know it. This is on the Sound of Philly label. And of course, Leon. Yes, Leon Huff. Gamble. Yes, they were on it. Huff and Gamble, baby. Yes. Featuring Party Is a Groove Thing and Do It Any Way You Want. And that tells you right there. It was all about, on this album, the dance floor. This is 1975. Whoa, so I was right there at 75. 75. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Great, 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 great album here. Produced by Gamble Huff. Woo, love that name combination. Yes, and here's their 1976 album right here. People's Choice. Yeah, we got the rhythm. Yes, Gamble and Huff. Yes, and I mean this is another great album that kept you on the dance floor, but then he knew how to kind of give you that funk as well. You know, here we go again. Jam, jam all night long. We got the rhythm. Oh man, one of my favorites on here. Cold blooded and downright funky. Shoot, moving all directions. Oh, here's another one. Opus Defunct. Metal Moves. I mean, this was a great album. If you don't know this album, get to know it. And see, they got you looking like that disco, but like I said, great production. They gave you the cuts to get on the dance floor with, but they also went back, kept it funky, kept it R&B-ish, kept it even vocally bluesy. You know, and sometimes the vocals kind of sound like a blues singer. Yes. Moving right along. How long, man? Oh, man, 46 minutes. Okay, I'm going to go through this, try to keep this under an hour. Here we go. The Blackbyrds. Okay. City Life. Great album. Dance floor cut on here was Rock Creek Park. Ooh, do it in the dark. Do it at the Rock Creek Park. And Rock Creek Park. Man, it just had that flow. Had that capability to make your feet just glide across the dance floor. 1975. There we go. Yes, Fantasy Records. Now, another group that was dipping toes, because they've been around since the 50s. So they were just going through all kind of stuff, you know. That next group, another Ohio favorite. And I'm talking about the Isaac Brothers. I selected this album here. You don't hear a lot of people talk about Winner Take All, but great album. 2-record set. I mean, every song on here is a banger as far as great music to listen to. The play off this album, like they hit the radio first, was I Wanna Be With You. Girl, I wanna be with you. Be with you. Really wanna be with you. Oh man, had some wicked bass in there. Yes. But man, they had a cut on here too called Disco Night, Rock Don't Stop. Hey, hey, rock the baby, it's a disco night. Oh man, then had that breakdown part. You just hear rock, don't stop, rock, don't stop. Da, 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 down, down. Oh man, come on now. Shoot. And then he had a cut on here that I just really fell in love with called Let's Fall in Love. Girl, let's fall in love. Think it over, girl. Come a little closer, girl. Man, woo-hoo. This album is great. It's not a bad cut on here. 2-record set. Man. Woo. Another group. This group. You look at the cover, you scream disco. Stargard. But I'm going to tell you about this album. Number one, these girls could sing. These girls' voices, they could meld together so good. These girls had voices. These girls could sing. Not only that, this album is dance, R&B, and funk. But not only that, this album also had the soundtrack title song for Richard Pryor's Which Way Is Up. The full-length version of it is on the album. That was also a great dance smash. Which way is up? Down, 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 down. Down, 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 down. Also a great funny movie. Richard Pryor, Which Way Is Up. And They actually did about 4 or 5 albums, I think 5. I might have 5. But 3 of them, they were together. Then after that, uh, Deborah left. So as you can see, Deborah left. And this is Rochelle and Janice did 2 more albums at Stargard. And you can tell, even though the other 2 I like, but you can tell they don't have that 3-pitch harmony. It's just them 2. But yeah, Stargard. This right here, and actually, I had 2 albums. They might have only did 2 albums, but this album here, Bell and James, 1978, AM Records. Living It Up, Friday Night. And I tell you, even today, this song is relevant because we all know about Friday night. We all know about you working all week, get off Friday, get home, get clean. Just like Johnny Kemp, just got paid. It's Friday. This song is just like that. Even though this was out first, Johnny Kemp came out with Just Got Paid, but it's all about having fun, going to the club, doing your thing on Friday night. Living it up, oh yeah, Friday night. Yeah, Bell and James. Yeah, the album I got, I think it was called Make Believe, Make Believable, something like that, but it didn't go anywhere, not like this did, because of one song on here, and that was Living It Up Friday Night. Now, this group here, when you think of disco, you do think of this group. And that's Chic. 1978. On Atlantic Records. That little freak, the Chic chair, I mean, I Want Your Love, At Last I'm Free, Sometimes You Win, Funny Bone, Serve a Fire, Happy Man. I mean, this was just the great R&B album, dance album. This album, it definitely survived disco. You can say what you want to say and call them a disco group, but urban radio, urban dance clubs kept this album alive and well. To this day, you could drop Freak Out. Lil Freak, everybody be on the floor dancing. I Want Your Love, everybody on the floor. At Last, I Am Free. This whole album is an A to B play no matter what. When I drop the needle, I'm not skipping no songs. And if you do, you don't know what the hell you're listening to. Now Rodgers, Bernard Edwards, rest in peace, Bernard. Man, it's a great album. The self-titled album Chic with Dance Dance, Yowza Yowza, you know, great album as well. But they got even better with this. Staying with Chic, Risque. Another great album. Good Times, definitely stands for banger. Also, sample. Rapper's Delight, making Rapper's Delight, I guess you could say, the biggest commercial hip hop record. Even though when you think about rap, you know, it's always a debate which record is first as far as rap, but big commercial, it goes to Rappers Delight because I remember listening to King Tim the Third by Fatback Band first. Because when you DJing, you buy the latest, greatest stuff. And I had that first. I was playing that first. But it didn't get to commercial push like Rappers Delight. So a lot of people just looked at Rappers Delight as, you know, the king of hip hop. But Fatback Band was more of a funk, R&B type band anyway, where Rappers Delight was pushing hip hop. So I guess that kind of helped Rappers Delight take the crown, so to speak. And it was just constantly rapping all the way through, where, you know, King Tim the Third had their moment and did the thing that we known them to do as far as playing music and background and everything. But nevertheless, in the books, they say Rappers Delight, but those who know will, or argue it will say King Tim III. But then you got some people that want to go back to the 30s, the 40s, and all that, talking about people rapping. But that's why I said commercial, where it made a pile of money. Okay, but getting back to this, good times. But I mean, he had One Summer Night, My Feet Keep Dancing, Forbidden Lover, Can't Stand to Love You, Will You Cry When You Hear This Song, What About Me? I mean, this album was fantastic. But I tell you, another song that got real popular, especially on the Quiet Storms, was a One Summer Night. Ooh, that will melt your eardrums. And it was long, too. Oh, I mean, the girls were sounding real good. You know, I tell you, Nile and Bernard were just hitting the guitar and the bass real gentle. I mean, just giving you that. And I love that breakdown. And then the girls come in. Could you let me tonight? Oh, I can't sing it, but it says on a One Summer Night, it will be so nice. Oh my God! You know what? I'm gonna have to play that after this video. But yes. Ooh man, I'm finna go over an hour because I'm ranting. OJ's Reunion. Let me tell you something about this album. Had the bangers. Not at 1975. Man, here we go again. We got the Gamble and Huff connection. Philly, baby. Yes. But they had the cuts that kept you on the floor was Living for the Weekend, of course. I love music. I love music, any kind of music. La 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 la. I love music. Man, I'm telling you, that was it. But another song on here was Family Reunion and Stairway to Heaven. That was that R&B soul feel that the OJs always had. But had to get you on that floor as well. And that's what they did with this album. 1975. Yes, Philly, baby. All right, let me speed it up. Another group, Instant Funk. Y'all know that cut, 1979. Yeah, South Soul Records. Got my mind made up. Come on, you feel it anytime. Tonight is fine. Say what? I got my mind made up. Come on, you get it, girl. Anytime. Say what? Tonight is fine. I'm telling you, that was the cut. Kept you on the floor, and it was long too. But they also had some cuts on here. Darth Vader, Wild World of Sparks. Yes, that was some cuts on here that kept this album definitely not being discarded as a disco album because they kept it danceable and funky at the same damn time, like all these albums did that I'm showing. Just like this next group, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Yes, this has Boogie Wonderland on it with the emotions. But Earth, Wind, and Fire always kept it R&B soulful. Yes. After the Love Has Gone, come on now. Come on now. You know, in the Stone, Rock That, You and I, Come Let Go, Can't Let Go, shoot, Let Your Feelings Show. I Am is the name of the album. 1979, CBS Records, Columbia. But that Boogie Wonderland, dance, dance, Boogie Wonderland. Yes. Last but not least, Kool and the Gang. Oh, well, what a night. Boom, boom, 1979. I could have went back even farther. I could have pulled out, what's the name of that one? Spirit, I think it is. Open Sesame. Open Sesame! That was also on the soundtrack of Saturday Night Fever. Yes. Get down with the feeling. But Ladies Night was also on the dance floor. But another cut on here that kept this album floating over the disco kill zone was a cut on here called Too Hot. Oh, yes, it's too hot, too hot, too hot, lady. Yeah. Gotta run for shelter, gotta run for shade. It's too hot. Yes, man, but this is a great album. Yeah, Ladies Night, got you into my life. If you feel like dancing, hanging out, tonight's the night, and Too Hot. Great album. Delight Records, 1979. Well, look at it. Look at that Continental. Look at that Lincoln. You don't see them like that no more. Yeah. Classic cover. Everybody recognizes it when they see it. So, that's it. That's some of the stuff I pulled out when I thought about disco. Actually, after watching that documentary about, them blowing up the records and everything, but it was just so much stuff that was just actually driving the whole disco thing that, I don't know what records were in that dumpster. I don't know. It could have been some Kool and the Gang in there. It could have been some Earth, Wind, and Fire in there. Some Instant Funk, some Chic. It could have just been everything I showed. It could have just been all this. Who knows? Who knows? But nevertheless, if you saw it here and you see it at your record stores, you still hear a lot of this has been sampled. So no, they didn't kill disco. Disco did not die. Disco is still here, even in 2023, because these artists are still sampling disco music to make their hits of the day, which a lot of your kids, you disco destroyers, are listening to. Yeah, go ahead and lie to your kids and say, oh, I wasn't a part of that. Yeah, you were. You know who you are. You lying to your kids, shame on you. Yes, you almost took out a genre of music that your kids wouldn't even be able to enjoy, but you did. You did. So you probably lie to your kids and say, "Oh, I love disco. Oh, it was so good. It was so good." Dance for your kids. Dance for your kids. So your kids can say, "Oh, you're lying because you can't dance." I'm just having fun. I'm going to get out of here because it's over an hour. Thanks for watching as always. The camera's on, so you're always welcome here at the Funk Cafe. And that is, disco is definitely here in 2023, and it's going to be here beyond as long as sampling is out there, because that's what they're doing. They're taking these disco records, these funk records, these R&B records, and they're taking a sample and building a beat around that sample and making music for your kids and your kids' kids to listen to. So you didn't kill disco, baby. Disco is still breathing. I'm your man, DJ Funky. You know what I'm about to say. I'm out.